You work, you grind, you sacrifice sleep, time, life, but somehow you're still broke. Maybe the problem isn't you. Maybe it's the system that feeds on your effort. You wake up exhausted, again. Hit snooze, again. Drag yourself to work, again. And at the end of the month, your account is empty. Again. This isn't your failure. It's working exactly as designed. They told you the formula was simple. Work hard. Put in the hours. Success follows. A lie so perfect, you never questioned it. Look at your life now. You leave before sunrise, return after sunset, 5 days a week minimum, often 6, sometimes 7. Your apartment, just a place to sleep. Your relationships, text messages between shifts. Your passions, squeezed into exhausted Sunday afternoons. The average worker now puts in 47 hours weekly. That's almost 2,500 hours annually. Of your life, gone. And what did that sacrifice get you? Since 1979, productivity increased 62%. Worker compensation, only 17%. Someone's getting rich off your extra hours, it's not you. Time isn't just money, it's literally your life. And they own it now. When was the last time you actually lived, not just survived between shifts? They call it work ethic. What they mean is submission. You gave them your irreplaceable time, and they gave you debt, optimization, efficiency, output metrics. The buzzwords sound empowering. The reality is theft. You found ways to do more in less time. You streamlined processes, automated tasks, skipped lunches, worked through breaks. Your productivity skyrocketed. Your paycheck didn't. That gap? Marx called it surplus value. The difference between what you produce and what they pay you. It's not small change. It's billions, trillions, extracted from your labor, funneled upward. In 1965, CEOs made 20 times the average worker. Today, 399 times. They track your keystrokes, monitor your bathroom breaks, optimize your every movement, not to make your job easier, to extract more from you. Your boss celebrates your efficiency, then cuts your hours, or adds more tasks, or both. You became faster. They became richer. Being tired used to be a warning sign. Now it's proof you're serious. You brag about all-nighters, glorify skipping vacations, post your grind on social media, as if suffering is achievement. This isn't strength, it's alienation. You're so disconnected from your humanity that pain feels like purpose. Exhaustion feels like excellence. 44% of workers report feeling burned out. 76% experience workplace stress, and yet, we celebrate it. We compete for who's suffering most. I only slept 4 hours last night. I haven't taken a day off in 3 months. I work through lunch every day. Badges of honor in a system designed to break you. This isn't hustle culture, it's collapse culture. If you're not exhausted, you're not trying hard enough. That's the lie they sold you, and you bought it. With your life as currency, the economy crashes, inflation spikes, housing costs triple, and somehow, it's your fault. You should have saved more. You should have invested earlier. You should have chosen a better career. You should have worked harder. Always your fault, never the system's. 70% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. The average rent takes 30% of income. Student debt averages $37,000 per person. Medical debt crushes millions. Yet the narrative never changes. Your personal failure, your bad choices, your lack of discipline. This isn't coincidence, it's ideology, making systemic violence look like individual shortcoming, turning exploitation into opportunity, rebranding theft as the market. They isolate your struggles, make you think it's just you, hide the structure causing your pain. You're not a failure, you're not unlucky, you're being lied to. Work gives life meaning. Your job defines you. Without work, what are you? The religion of labor, the worship of productivity, the cult of career. But what meaning comes from being monitored every minute, having no security, doing tasks that destroy your body, working for companies that destroy the planet. If you refuse the grind, they call you lazy. If you demand more, you're entitled. If you question the system, you're radical. The average American will spend 90,000 hours working, 1/3 of your life. For what? Just enough to survive until your next shift, just enough to keep producing, never enough to break free. The fetishization of work makes suffering look noble. It's not. You're not advancing. You're not free. You're just productive. Every day you wake up tired. Every day you push through pain. Every day you wonder, is this all there is? That doubt isn't weakness. It's clarity. You're not lazy. You're waking up. And that terrifies them. Because once enough of us see the truth, everything changes. How much more of your life will you sacrifice? Before you realize it was never going to be enough. But they don't stop there. They've convinced you that your job is your identity, your worth measured in output, your value calculated in revenue generated. The modern worker isn't just exploited physically, they're colonized mentally. Social media becomes another workplace. Your hobbies become side hustles. Your relationships become networking. Your rest becomes recharging to be more productive. Nothing exists outside capitalism's reach, not even your dreams. Remember when you wanted to create art, help others, explore the world, connect deeply? Those desires weren't random. They were your humanity speaking. Before the system drowned it out with, but how will that pay the bills? The average person will spend 13 years working in their lifetime, another 26 years sleeping, leaving just 30 years for everything else. Living, loving, being, and those 30 years, fragmented between commutes, scattered across exhausted evenings, compressed into 2 short weekends. Your ancestors didn't evolve for this. Humans aren't designed for 50-hour work weeks, for artificial light and recycled air, for sitting in traffic and staring at screens. Your body knows this is wrong. Your mind knows this is wrong. Your soul knows this is wrong. That's why you're depressed. That's why you're anxious. That's why you're always tired. It's not chemical imbalance, it's life imbalance. They pathologize your natural response to exploitation. Call it mental illness instead of rational reaction. Medicate you to tolerate the intolerable. And when you can't take it anymore, when you burn out, they replace you, like a broken machine part, while you're left wondering what went wrong. Nothing went wrong. The system worked perfectly. It extracted everything it could, until there was nothing left to take. The truth they hide: your worth isn't your work. Your value isn't your productivity. Your purpose isn't profit. You are not a resource to be optimized. You are not capital to be leveraged. You are not an investment to yield returns. You are a human being, born with inherent dignity, deserving of time to exist beyond labor. Marx called it alienation, the separation of workers from their work, the products they create, their human nature, each other. You feel it every day, that disconnection, that emptiness, that sense that something fundamental is missing. It's not just in your head, it's in the structure, the very architecture of modern work. They sell you the dream of work-life balance, as if your life and work are equal priorities, as if your existence is merely a counterweight to your job. They promote self-care, not to heal you, but to make you functional enough to keep producing. They offer workplace perks, free snacks, casual Fridays, team building, cheap bribes to distract from the fundamental theft of your time. They celebrate gig economy freedom, which really means no benefits, no security, no future, just endless hustle with a friendlier name. They praise entrepreneurship for the masses, as if everyone can be a capitalist, as if the system doesn't require most people to remain workers. The math doesn't add up. The promise is empty. The game is rigged, and still you try, you push, you sacrifice. Because what choice do you have? The bills don't stop. Rent doesn't wait. Food isn't free. They've built a perfect trap. Work or starve. Comply or be homeless. Submit or suffer. And they call this freedom. The greatest trick of capitalism, convincing you that survival requirements are opportunities, that basic necessities are privileges you earn, that your exploitation is just the way things are. You didn't fail the system. The system failed you by design. It was never meant to lift everyone up. It was built to funnel wealth upward, to concentrate power, to maintain hierarchy. Your exhaustion is not an accident. Your debt is not an accident. Your precarity is not an accident. They are tools of control. Tired people don't revolt. Indebted people don't take risks. Precarious people don't make demands. Every day, you're told to work harder. Be grateful. Stop complaining. While they take more, give less, and call it progress. The average worker is more productive than ever before, creating more value than any previous generation. Yet real wages have barely moved in decades. Where did all that wealth go? Look at the mega yachts, the private space programs, the billionaires multiplying like viruses. That's your labor, your time, your life, transformed into their luxury. They tell you there's not enough money for living wages, universal healthcare, affordable housing, quality education. Yet corporate profits break records every year. Executive compensation soars to new heights. Tax breaks for the wealthy multiply. There's plenty of money. It's just not in your hands. And when you point this out, they call you entitled, radical, unrealistic. They've normalized exploitation so thoroughly that demanding basic dignity seems extreme. This isn't just economic injustice, it's reality distortion. They've inverted everything. Exploitation becomes opportunity. Theft becomes success. Suffering becomes character building. And you're told to be grateful for the chance to participate. When did we agree to this? When did we decide that most humans should spend most of their lives doing work they hate, just to enrich someone else? We didn't. This system wasn't chosen democratically. It wasn't created for your benefit. It wasn't designed with your happiness in mind. It was imposed, maintained by force, protected by lies. And it persists because we haven't imagined anything better. Or rather, we're not allowed to imagine anything better. It's not perfect, but it's the best system we have. Human nature makes any other way impossible. This is just reality. More lies, more manipulation, more thought control. Your fatigue isn't weakness. Your anger isn't irrational. Your discontent isn't entitlement. They're your humanity fighting to breathe, your spirit refusing to be crushed, your dignity demanding recognition. You've been working harder every year, getting less in return, and blaming yourself for the math not adding up. Stop. The equation is rigged, the game is fixed. The problem isn't you. It's a system built on extracting maximum value from your irreplaceable time. While convincing you that you're lucky to be exploited, you're not lazy for wanting rest. You're not entitled for wanting security. You're not radical for wanting meaning. You're human. And maybe, just maybe, that's worth more than your productivity. The most perverse achievement of modern capitalism, making you believe your worth is tied to your economic output, as if your humanity is secondary to your ability to generate profit, as if your right to exist depends on your usefulness to markets. We've accepted a world where people sleep on streets outside empty luxury apartments, where food is destroyed while people starve, where we produce enough for everyone but distribute it to few. This isn't scarcity, it's manufactured deprivation, and they've convinced you it's inevitable, natural, unchangeable. But systems are human creations. They can be uncreated, reimagined, rebuilt. What they fear most isn't your laziness, it's your awakening, not just to the exploitation, but to the possibility of something different. They've colonized not just your labor and time, but your imagination, making you believe this is the only way things can be, that working yourself to death for someone else's profit is normal, that trading your life for survival is freedom. But freedom isn't choosing between exploitation and starvation. That's just coercion with extra steps. True freedom would mean time to think, energy to create, space to connect, resources to thrive. Not just for the privileged few, but for everyone. Your smartphone contains more computing power than what sent humans to the moon. Our productivity has multiplied exponentially through technology. We can produce more with less human labor than ever before. Yet somehow, you're working longer hours, for less security, with more anxiety. The machine of capitalism doesn't liberate with its efficiency. It just demands more, always more. The 40-hour workweek was established in 1940. Despite productivity skyrocketing since then, your hours haven't decreased. Despite automation replacing millions of jobs, your workload hasn't lightened. The future promised less work and more life. What happened? The gains were privatized. The costs were socialized. The promise was forgotten. And you're left wondering why you feel cheated. Because you were. The original sin of capitalism isn't just the theft of your labor. It's the theft of your potential. All you could have been. All you could have created. All you could have experienced. If you weren't spending your life making someone else rich, look at your hands, capable of art, of building, of healing, of embracing. Now look at what they do all day. Type reports, move products, click buttons, execute someone else's vision. Look at your mind, capable of philosophy, of innovation, of deep understanding, of transformation. Now look at what it's used for. Maximizing efficiency, following procedures, surviving until payday. This isn't just economic violence. It's spiritual violence, the deliberate diminishment of human potential, the systematic crushing of the human spirit, the calculated redirection of human energy toward profit instead of purpose. And for what? So a few can have more than they could spend in lifetimes. So numbers can grow in accounts that do nothing but generate more numbers. So power can concentrate further into fewer hands. At what point do we admit the experiment failed? That the promised prosperity never trickled down? That the invisible hand only seems to take, never give? They'll tell you it's complicated, that you don't understand economics, that this is just how things work. More deception, more condescension, more gaslighting. Trust your experience over their explanations. Trust your exhaustion over their equations. Trust your humanity over their theory. You know something is wrong, not just with your job, not just with the economy, but with the entire relationship between human beings and work, between life and survival, between time and money, between existence and production. This isn't about politics. It's about reclaiming what's been taken from you, your time, your energy, your potential, your life. The system isn't broken, it's functioning exactly as designed, extracting maximum value from human beings, converting life into capital. You aren't failing to adapt to the system. Your humanity is refusing to be crushed by it. And that's not weakness, that's power. When will you stop apologizing for wanting more than survival? When will you stop blaming yourself for a rigged game? When will you realize your exhaustion isn't personal failure, but systemic success? You're not crazy for questioning this reality. You're not wrong for wanting something better. You're not alone in your silent rebellion. Millions feel what you feel, see what you see, know what you know. That life was never meant to be just work and collapse. That humans weren't born to be productive units. That time is too precious to sell so cheaply. The greatest act of courage in a system designed to extract your life force, valuing yourself beyond your productivity, loving yourself beyond your economic output, defining success on your own terms, not as exploitation with a better salary, not as alienation with better benefits, but as genuine human flourishing. They don't want you asking these questions. They don't want you seeing these connections. They don't want you valuing yourself this much, because once you do, once enough of us do, their power begins to crumble. So next time you wake up exhausted, next time you check your empty account, next time you wonder why you work so hard for so little, Remember, it's not your failure, it's their design, and designs can be changed. When will you stop giving away your one precious life for a system that was never built to serve you?